I'm telling you now, you look like Maura Dara.
I don't look like Maura Dara. Hello and welcome to Prime Time. The headlines tonight. What's wrong with you now?
The ring pull under me nail.
So guys, welcome back to another day of Sherlock Listen.
Chin chin.
Oh, chin chin. Chim chim Marie.
Every video I've managed to belch. The camera won't be recording and I won't be belching.
It's better out than in, like.
The second you hit the record button.
So today's topic, we are going to discuss drag. Because it is quite a big topic on our channel.
But we're going to kind of touch more so on the side of, has it become mainstream? Is drag mainstream?
Has it blown up?
Has it blown us asunder? And is there just too much drag around?
I love drag. I've only recently gotten to drag.
No. So when you say recently, how recent?
Now recent I'm saying like 6 years or so. I'd say 6 7 years ago.
Okay.
So when I was a wee babby.
When you are a wee chung one.
No, I wasn't even a chung one. When I started in college, I was none the wiser to what drag was. To me, drag was like something that was, you know, men dressing up as women, that's fine, you do you, but I just, you know, I would have seen the likes of, you know.
At the time, it wasn't
yeah,
for you.
I would have thought it was just, I didn't think it was such a vast thing. I didn't know there was so much to it.
Yeah.
You know, I just thought it was dressing up, you know, the same way that, you know, you dress up as a character for a film.
Okay.
We film.
Like cosplay.
Cosplay, yeah.
Okay.
Because I like going to conventions and stuff, so I would have seen people dressing up in cosplay. So I presumed, oh, this is a kind of like a form of cosplay, if you get me.
Well, I suppose it kind of is. For me, I think drag is more, it very much is the, it mocks the identity of society.
Right.
So like what has happened in pop culture, or not even pop culture, but what has kind of happened in society.
In general, yeah.
Yeah, or even in history. Drag kind of takes that, spins it a little, kind of makes a bit of a mockery of it.
Yeah.
But in it, good drag wouldn't make it tasteful. I think it's more so that drag takes a womanly form, and what would have probably been considered to be deemed as weak, or what like a woman couldn't do or shouldn't do. Drag is kind of able to spin that around and be like, well actually they can do that and I'm a man doing it, but it's kind of a woman and it's that blurred line moment. And I think I see drag as a little bit more empowering. Yeah. And is like we were saying before in the other video, kind of a little bit like a woman's ally.
Some people probably feel more confident in their drag alter ego than in their own skin. Yeah. Which is, well, you're technically, I hope you're still in your own skin. I hope you don't take other people's skin.
It rubs the lotion all over its body.
But no, in general, I can see where some people like are more confident or feel more themselves as their drag persona. Obviously, beauty drag, you're mistaken if you haven't been on this channel before. Adam here does like to dress up as
I take
female identity.
I take female clothing and I put it all over my hairy legs. I think it's definitely for the individual, or like the, here we go, the artist or the performer or the actual drag performer.
It is a form of art.
It is definitely a form of art, but it's also a form of entertainment.
Yes.
And it's also a form of many other things. Each individual person kind of takes it differently. Yeah. And I think that stands the same for members of the audience and the actual performer themselves. Yeah. I do think there are a lot of queens that, and kings as well.
Yeah, we can't forget the drag kings, of course. They're also included in this. This is drag. Drag is drag. Like, it doesn't matter what you identify
We're gonna just go with, like, dressed as a girl. Yeah. And that's just like a very broad way of saying that's what drag is for a female illusion on a male.
If we take some drag queens, for example, some kind of big mainstream drag queens, like at the moment, I think, you know, if you look at Milk, for instance.
Milk, she does a body good, girl.
Milk kind of does a little bit of everything. You know, she dresses, you know, as a woman, but she'll also...
Yeah, she kind of, it's more gender bendery. Like, to me, drag is, like, there is no, that's not drag. Yeah. To me. But I know a lot of people have a very strong opinion
on what is drag. There's some people who get furious about girls doing drag, like,
yeah,
they're like,
bio queens are a thing. It's like, who can be a clown? Yeah, anyone can be a clown. I personally think bio queens are of course a valid form of drag.
I'm not sure I understand.
Well, Siri doesn't get it. Siri doesn't understand.
Oh my god,
Bio
it's been
queen.
recording the whole thing. I think bio queens are valid as anything else. I do think though it draws the line when they're in it for like just ego or whatever else, because I think that's kind of a little bit false.
Yeah.
And I think that shows.
Yeah.
And I think that I can appreciate when like someone can say, oh, it's not the same as a man doing drag, because no, it's not the same as a man doing drag.
No.
They don't have they don't have to proportionize in the same way.
Yeah, they have the bits.
They already have
that are
some
needed,
bits,
yeah.
and you know, whatever. Is there more effort that goes into male drag, male to female drag?
Yeah.
Maybe, but that doesn't necessarily make it any better.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that.
There's perfectly great examples of absolutely terrible drag queens.
There's drag queens that take an hour to get ready. There's drag queens that take 5 hours to get ready. There's drag queens that take 10 minutes to get ready.
But I don't think that you can draw the line and say, oh, you only got ready in an hour, you're not a queen. This segues into the next topic the best, because there's pros and cons to everything. And personally, what's your opinion on RuPaul's Drag Race? To the impact of RuPaul's Drag Race on drag, society, and so on forth.
Now, my opinion of it as someone who isn't a drag queen is that I, you know, see it from an entertainment value, that it has kind of brought it into the world a bit more. Anything that goes on to say Netflix or anything that's on mainstream media, like it's even on some of the TV channels now, and that you know, that it kind of normalizes it a bit, you know, whereas it would have been seen as a taboo for a while, that like, you know, is this again what I visioned it as younger, is it this seedy sexual like act, but it's actually, you know, a bit of fun, you know what I mean? Like I actually really liked drag for the sense of like, the first season I watched of RuPaul's Drag Race, now I know there was other seasons out there, the first one I watched was season 6. When I say I started with season 6, I think it was the one that was on at the time.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Okay.
whereas I went back and I saw the likes of Alaska and I saw Jinx and and there was such a wide variety of different queens, and even the further, when I watched All Stars for instance, there was loads of new queens that, you know, which they say on All Stars, you know, the way the likes of say BB and Tatiana and all, you would have known them because you watched them from the start, whereas I didn't know them, and I'm like, oh okay, so it's interesting to see how much they've changed. In one way it's good that it has brought it mainstream, that, you know, it seems a bit more acceptable, but in one way, no more than anything else going mainstream, I remember even when I was getting into it, it wasn't that big. Like I would have went to, say, I remember when I was watching season 6, Laganja was one of the main queens on it, and I remember herself and Alyssa Edwards and Shangela, who are also very big drag queens now.
Yeah.
I went to, it's not RIP Break for the Border, but I went there, saw some of our local drag queens who I hadn't seen live before, you know, the likes of the lovely Victoria's Secret, there was Pixie Woo, Regina George, Paul Ryder. Do you know, that was my opening to local drag, which is also amazing, and then an opening to these big famous drag queens that have had their spin on the television in America. Like, so I was like, wow, and that was €20 for all of that and VIP to meet everyone. Whereas now, because so many people are into it, to see a show in the Olympia, like the Olympia is one of our biggest venues in Dublin, to see those drag queens live or meet them even, it could be up to €100, €150, and you only get like hello goodbye moment with them.
That's the one thing that kind of happened with Drag Race, which is kind of abnormal and kind of hasn't happened with anything else before.
Yeah.
Because it's, you know, any, like say the latest pop star, whoever they may be, starting off, if they do a show, say for example in the Olympia, and there was a meet and greet, it's very, you know, hi, quick picture, away you go, that's grand. But that's expected of a musician, but it's not expected of a drag queen, because it's so not normal to have to pay that amount of money to meet them, because, you know, that wasn't the culture before.
As you said, it's not like a pop star, that they don't have the makeup artist there, and they don't have, you know, it's all homegrown, like. Without
getting too sidetracked, because I think for me, RuPaul's Drag Race has done absolutely wonders for the community. Like, it's opened up a lot of different themes, trends, topics, identities, everything. It's just opened up a whole other world for the outsiders, which would have been like, say, the straight community or everyone else in between. Or just the other people that never really understood drag, never would have saw drag, never had an interest in drag, whatever it may be. and I think it's done some wonders.
Yeah,
the only
yeah.
thing is, it's only shown one side.
Yes.
It's only shown, as of now, as of April 2019.
Yeah, to be honest, yeah.
All we've had is men going to female drag, and then we've had trans as well.
Yes.
So we've had trans
We've
drag,
had a few trans queens as well.
and that's really good, and that's amazing, because that
Yeah.
is definitely perfectly valid. But I think RuPaul's Drag Race has probably gone to the point now where it's kind of made male to female drag the only norm.
The only type of drag.
And I think that's where the problem lies.
Yeah.
I know for me
Yeah.
that growing up and kind of my exposure to drag
Yeah.
was different. My first exposure to drag was like the most mainstream versions, which
Yeah.
was the Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, yeah.
Mrs. Brown. Like I found those so funny because it was different. It was, the broad shoulders.
Yeah.
And it just didn't look like a woman, but yeah, it did look like a woman.
Yeah, it was
and
like
everyone knows that one woman that you see down in the shops, and it was Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah.
That to me, it was the obscurity of it that got me.
Yeah.
And it was the kind of different side of it, or
Very
the
theatrical as well. Like,
very
yeah.
much so the theatrical side,
Yeah.
because I know for me, like when I was, before I even started watching Drag Race,
Yeah.
I had played the Panto Dame.
Yeah.
And that was like,
There was
that was
always,
fun.
yeah.
But I remember back then, it was kind of like it was a bit taboo, and it was a bit like, oh, you're playing the Dame.
Yeah.
The audience never had a problem with it. People were always like, oh, you were great, you was this, it was that. There was that kind of stigma. And amongst actors, it was like, that stigma of, oh, you're playing the girl, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you're playing the girl again, okay. Oh, you're playing the woman role, okay.
Yeah.
And I think, to me, at the time, that was what was funny.
Yeah.
That was where the jokes were. And the jokes were there, people laughed.
Yeah.
But it was just, that stigma was there. So when it came to drag, I had that stigma then, following on. So when RuPaul's Drag Race was on, it was kind of like, is it okay to watch this? Is it okay if, like, do I have to watch this under the covers? When I first started watching Drag Race, I remember being like, it was kind of uncomfortable to watch it when there was someone else in the house, because I was like, oh, is this weird? Yes, it was weird, and I loved it, and that's why I loved it. And that's the kind of stuff that I was always kind of drawn to about drag, was that it was kind of going against the grain.
Yeah, it was.
Now I'm in no way saying on this artsy, going against the grain kind of stuff, but that's how I see drag. It was that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily as against the grain now.
No, not
I think
at all.
it's much more normalised. Like, we have drag brunch now,
Yeah.
which is becoming part of
culture, like
culture.
Yeah.
No, it's
yeah.
becoming part of like a thing.
And
It's
going
more
out,
known.
yeah.
Like, at one point, if you said drag brunch, they would have been like, what's drag brunch?
Yes.
So we host the one in Dublin, but that then means that we get to host the one in Galway as well.
Yeah, and you get to go up and round. You get to visit,
and the one thing is, I don't know who it was. So I think it was someone on Drag Race, and they said stick with drag, or it was a piece of advice they got.
Yeah.
It was like, stick with drag, it'll take you anywhere. But it's so true.
It's so true.
Because drag will bring you to like the depths of Carrigaline for a hen party, but it'll also then bring you to LA, exactly.
Yeah, you're going over like in a few weeks to LA. You've been to how many?
This is my third time going to DragCon.
Yeah, so again, DragCon. That's another thing. A whole convention.
Thing. It's
for it.
Huge.
I go to conventions, for instance, like, because even if you think of conventions, like now conventions are very like, mainstream in the sense of like pop culture, whereas it has its own convention. It's not even that,
and it's not even its own convention in the convention centre in Dublin. It's in like, in the LA Convention Centre, there's like smaller areas, but there's then the South Hall.
Yes.
And it's huge.
Yeah.
Like, it's huge. Artists from all over the world go to set up a stall there to sell
even
their stuff,
prints
or even just to
merch,
experience it. It's crazy. There's a whole enterprise.
It's a whole world of its own, like.
But that's the thing, and that's the one thing about drag queens that is probably still missed, because not a lot of people know the actual amount of work that has to go into. If you want to be a full-time professional drag queen, there's so much stuff that you have to do that you wouldn't have to do if you're a full-time professional singer, if you're a full-time professional dancer, actor, because to be a drag queen you have to be your own makeup artist, your own hairstylist, you have to be your own costume designer, your own seamstress.
See what fits you, what look, because I mean, you could do your makeup and you could like it, but then you could change up your whole look then, it's playing around.
Oh sure, when I started drag I literally looked like a reptile. I know for me, if I put my mind to something, I'll make it happen. And when I started drag, I didn't know what direction I wanted to go in drag. I wasn't taking it as seriously as I would now. But that's not to say that I'm taking it so seriously now that I'm staying up at night. It's not like that for me. Like I enjoy doing drag. I enjoy entertaining people. I enjoy the lifestyle that comes with it.
Exactly.
Everything around it for me, it just it works, and I love it.
And it's literally a job. Nothing like a job. It is a job.
It is a job.
It's a pays the bills, like, you know what I mean?
It definitely is a job. But the part that the people don't see, or the audience don't see, is the amount of work you have to do.
Yeah.
So, you know, for a drag queen, for that hour and a half gig that you have, there's 3-4 hours in order to do it. Or there might be 3-4 hours to get ready, and then 2 hours to travel there.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, so...
And you're paying your own money. Every drag queen as well, it's not that it's just, again, it's not putting on a wig and putting on the makeup and putting on a dress and away you go. You have to find your style. Why, like, Miss Taken is completely different than, say, like Miss Roots. Or, you know, like, there's other local queens that are completely different here. But those local queens could be completely different than the RuPaul queens. But then they're all completely different.
It doesn't make them any better or any worse.
It's the same way if you met, like, nobody's the same. Like, I know there might be similarities, maybe, like, I know often people might come up and be like, oh, that eye looks like such and such a queen.
Oh, like come on. Like, it doesn't take, like... It doesn't take anyone to compare me to Trixie Mattel straight away. I know what happens. That, like, it was obviously a huge impact for me. Yeah. Or not even an impact, it was obviously a huge influence for me.
She's one of your favourite queens.
Yeah, she was one of the first that I related to, and was like, especially on Drag Race, that I related to and went, I kind of see a bit more. Yeah. You know, that's where kind of I knew I wanted... When I wanted to do drag, I knew I wanted to do a bigger face. I didn't want to be, you know, I'm under no illusion to think that I actually look like a real genuine woman that you pluck from the street. If you're in drag for long enough, you're usually in a corset, a couple of pairs of tights, shapewear.
7 pairs of tights is it you wear? Like 7 pairs of tights, like.
Yeah. There's no uniform. It's not like you need 7 pairs of tights, pads, a corset to be a drag queen. Yeah, like that's not true. Plenty
of queens don't pad, plenty of queens don't wear a corset, like.
And they look great, and they do such a great job. But I think that criticism has come from RuPaul's Drag Race. Exactly. That thing of, like, because it is a competition reality show, there's an element of judging involved. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you can go and judge someone else because your opinion is this, that, you know? This is my problem with Drag Race, is that Drag Race didn't invent the lingo that we have today. But Drag Race took from, you know, the ball scene, queer history and queer culture, took these sayings and these kind of random vernaculars and put those on the show to make the model of the show, to make it entertaining, and it is, and it's catchy, and everyone loves to do it, but a lot of people obviously don't really know where it comes from, you know, like it's always in the episode where they do the reading challenge on Drag Race, and it's in the great tradition of Paris is Burning. But then the flip side is, you have all these celebrity queens coming to, say, to Dublin, or on tour around the world, and like you said, it's so expensive if you want to now meet them, whereas it would have been, whatever, 20 before, because there would have been more of a backing of a venue. Yeah,
but that's what you wonder, like, why are people paying money to see these queens when they're not going to their local shows?
Exactly. Now, I do definitely think there's an element of drag fans will go to drag shows, and I think there's now more drag fans because of the exposure. That thing of, you know, if the celebrity drag queen is on, they won't care about their local queen because they'll diminish, oh, the local queen is whatever, because they're not on a TV show. That's not true, because in some cases the local queen will probably put more effort in than the celebrity queen.
Celebrity queen.
Not all the time. Yeah. And are they always better? No. You know, there's no formula. When I started doing drag, it was just after, that Drag Race had kind of become as the kind of on the soar as it is today, and in that space of time I've seen what shows I do that, you know, you're booked for the most random gigs that wouldn't have happened before. You're booked for, like, you know, parties and weddings. It's a whole realm of things, like
bar mitzvahs.
I was sure I got a query about a confirmation.
Oh yeah.
And that was like my moral grounds, but like, I'm not doing this for children. I also detest children, so it wouldn't be for me.
Like, why not get the Teletubbies when we could get Mistaken, you know what I mean? Same thing, you know?
Is that a fat joke?
No.
You looked at me when you said Tubby. I don't know if it was a charity thing or not, but I didn't end up doing it. I know a few queens that did, and basically you go in and you help everyone clean the office. It was like part of the spring cleaning event.
Okay.
That's bizarre to me to have drag queens do it, but it motivated people to clean the office,
Yeah.
and they got a spick and span office afterwards.
Fair enough.
Thank you so much for watching. We definitely waffled a lot. It was a good ramble. It was good.
Yeah, I was kind of getting all those feelings out there.
Get that,
you know?
get it off the chest. We hope you enjoyed. If you did, you know what to do. You gotta like and subscribe down below. Press the bell for all the good things to happen, and check out all the other videos for all the other rants and all the other.
Yes, we have
shy
actually
talking.
some examples of ourselves being out when you're in drag and, you know, things like that. So yeah, go and check out some of the classic.
And make sure to check us out on all of our social medias. Links down below. God bless. Have a good one. And sure, look.
Sure, listen.
It is what it is.